Card counting is perfectly legal, but casinos do have a right to refuse service to whoever they want, in particular, winning players. While getting backed off is never fun, I'm going to share 5 reasons why I'm actually glad casinos can back people off. I've been backed off from casinos close to 100 times.
Just go ahead and push him back
right now. And it's never an enjoyable experience, but I want to share with you guys why I'm actually glad that casinos have this right. The first one is because the alternative to getting backed off is actually worse. And let me explain what I mean by that. If they couldn't back off card counters, they would stop offering a beatable game. The reality is that casinos are a business. If casinos were forced to let people beat their game, casinos would stop offering that game. Any business owner would. But because casinos are able to refuse service to winning players, they continue to offer a game that can be beaten by the very select few who take the time and the energy to actually beat the game. So I've been backed off close to 100 times, and personally, I'd rather take the cat and mouse game of trying to avoid detection than getting backed off at some point, as opposed to not being able to play the game at all, because that's made me plenty of money along the way. The second reason I'm glad casinos can back people off is because personally, it's taught me how to be able to handle conflict. When I first started playing in casinos, I was terrified to ask for a comp. And over the time dealing with casinos and conflict and back off after back off, I've actually learned how to be able to handle conflict in a positive way. Through all the back offs, I've learned how to not escalate a situation, how to be disappointed without becoming disrespectful, how to handle my emotions without shutting down. I've learned how to stick up for myself without being a dick, and how to be gracious to the casino staff when they're being a dick to me simply for playing a game well. And the reality is all of this stuff applies to life outside of the casino and away from the blackjack tables. These lessons have become invaluable in dealing with conflict in business, in relationships, and just throughout life in general, and I'm thankful for that. The third reason I'm thankful that casinos can back people off is because it exposes how casinos really feel about their customers. We've seen all the ads where it's happy, high-fiving couples and they're all winning and having a good time, but that's not the reality of casinos. The fact that casinos back off winning players exposes the fact they only want losers there. Their advertisements can show happy people, but they want people to show up, lose their money, and go home with less money than they showed up with. And at least backoffs reveal the reality that they do not want anyone there that actually can threaten to win at their game. The fourth reason I'm glad casinos can back people off is because it thins the field of card counters. So there's a lot of skills you need to be a successful card counter. You need to have good bankroll management. You have to have a bankroll. You have to be perfect at basic strategy, counting, deviations, but you also have to be able to handle backoffs. If you can't handle the conflict, you aren't going to make it as a card counter. And actually, that's fine with me, because if everybody could do it, if everyone could be a card counter, then the game would have deteriorated a long time ago. But you can still make, 6 figures or upwards of a few $100s an hour as a card counter because there aren't that many people that can do it. And part of that is there aren't that many people that can handle the backoffs and have the skills and the bankroll and everything to be a successful card counter. Finally, getting backed off is a rite of passage. Ironically, I've known losing players that get backed off because they're trying to count cards. I've seen it happen. We've had people at our boot camps that they're not really effective card counters and they still get backed off. But the reality is, I have never known a good, winning, successful card counter that hasn't been backed off. It's just something you're going to have to deal with. And when someone goes through our training and they start playing, they start beating up on casinos, they get backed off, I say congratulations. Welcome to the club. You have entered this rite of passage we've all been through, where we get our first tap on the shoulder and we get told, Mr. Jones, your game's too good for us. You're no longer welcome to play blackjack here anymore. And I always say, oh, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't do anything wrong. And they say, well, you know what you did, your game's too good, no more blackjack. And I say, all right, and I move on to the next casino. If you're a successful card counter, you've been through it, it's just part of the whole experience of beating casinos. So here's the deal, guys. Don't go out there and try to get backed off, but also don't be afraid of the back off. I'm actually glad they can do it because it means we can beat this game, and I've learned a lot from the process. And as my friend and hero Tommy Highland says, there are just so many casinos to play. So if you get backed off, move on to the next place. More casinos are popping up every day, and just be thankful for this wild ride of being casinos, taking their money and being told you're too good for them. If you want to watch the video of me getting backed off, the undercover footage, you can check it out. Here's the link, and enjoy being the casinos.